Have you ever looked at a world map from 100 years ago? A quarter of the entire globe was painted pink, all belonging to one tiny island nation, Great Britain. How did this happen? How did a small rainy island off the coast of Europe build the largest empire in human history? It's a story of ambition, innovation, and a whole lot of luck. Let's dive in. First things first, let's talk geography. Being an island was a huge advantage. While mainland Europe was constantly tangled in land wars, Britain had a natural moat, the English Channel. This protected it from invasions and allowed it to focus its resources elsewhere. Instead of building massive land armies, Britain poured its money into its navy. And this, my friends, was the key. The Royal Navy became the most powerful maritime force the world had ever seen. It was like having the keys to every ocean on the planet. This naval dominance allowed Britain to protect its trade routes, defend its colonies, and project its power anywhere in the world. If you control the seas, you control the world. But a powerful navy is useless without something to trade. And Britain was at the heart of the new global economy. It all started with the Age of Discovery. While Spain and Portugal were busy colonizing South America, Britain was a bit late to the party. Their early attempts in North America were challenging, but they learned and they adapted. They established colonies in the Caribbean to grow sugar, a commodity so valuable it was called white gold. Then came the 13 colonies in North America, providing raw materials like timber, cotton, and tobacco. This colonial trade fueled a massive economic boom back home. And that brings us to the Industrial Revolution. This is where Britain really pulled ahead of the pack. Starting in the mid-18th century, Britain became the workshop of the world. Inventions like the steam engine, the spinning jenny, and new iron-making techniques transformed the country. Factories sprung up, cities grew, and Britain started mass-producing goods, textiles, tools, machinery, at a scale no one had ever seen before. Now they had a double advantage. They had colonies to provide cheap raw materials, and they had the industrial power to turn those materials into expensive manufactured goods, which they could then sell back to their colonies and to the rest of the world. It was a hugely profitable cycle. Think about it. Raw cotton from India or America would be shipped to factories in Manchester, turned into cloth, and then sold back to India at a much higher price. This economic engine generated immense wealth, which funded an even stronger navy, a larger army, and further imperial expansion. It was a self-reinforcing loop of power. Now, let's talk about the political and social side of things. Britain had a relatively stable political system. While countries like France were going through bloody revolutions, Britain had a constitutional monarchy and a parliament that, while not perfect, provided a degree of stability that was attractive to investors and entrepreneurs. This stability fostered a culture of innovation and capitalism. There was a strong belief in free trade, at least when it benefited Britain, and the legal system protected private property, which encouraged people to take risks and build businesses. Another crucial factor was the concept of the joint stock company. Think of it like the great-great-grandfather of modern corporations. Companies like the East India Company were given royal charters that allowed them to raise money from public investors, build their own armies, and even govern vast territories. The East India Company, for example, started as a trading firm but ended up ruling over most of India. It was a unique model of public-private partnership in empire building, where the state outsourced the risk and cost of colonization to private enterprise while still reaping the benefits. But we can't ignore the darker side of this story. The empire was built on exploitation. The slave trade was a horrific but incredibly profitable part of the British economy for centuries, providing the labor that powered the sugar plantations in the Caribbean. The wealth generated from slavery was instrumental in funding the Industrial Revolution. In India, British policies led to famines and the destruction of local industries. In Africa, territories were carved up without any regard for the people who lived there. While Britain brought technology, infrastructure like railways, and a common language to some parts of its empire, it often came at a terrible human cost. This legacy is complex and is still being debated today. So, to sum it all up, there wasn't one single reason for Britain's rise. It was a perfect storm of factors. Its island geography gave it a defensive advantage. Its powerful navy gave it control of the oceans. The Industrial Revolution gave it an unmatched economic engine. Its political stability and unique corporate structures allowed for efficient expansion. And all of this was fueled by a vast network of colonies that provided raw materials and markets. It was a combination of military might, economic innovation, political savvy, and ruthless ambition. The British Empire eventually declined, as all empires do. The two world wars drained its resources, and a global wave of independence movements saw colonies break free. But for a time, this small island nation truly did rule the waves and shape the modern world in ways we still feel today. The English language, common law, and even the sports we play are all part of its lasting legacy. The story of the British Empire is a fascinating and often controversial chapter in human history, reminding us how a unique blend of circumstances can lead to unprecedented power. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into history interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how our world came to be. See you in the next one.